Hello, and welcome to Teaching Tuesday. I'm Heather McGee. It's fall, it's cooled down a little bit, and it's beautiful out. So we've started getting pumpkins so that we can decorate. I know fall is a great time for pumpkins, whether it's for Halloween or all the way to Thanksgiving. Sometimes we have pumpkin pie, sometimes we make jack-o'-lanterns. So today I'm going to show you how to make these paper pumpkins. They're really fun because you can put a string on them and hang them up, or you can just tape it to your refrigerator, put it on there with a magnet, however you would like to do that. So let's get started. Today you don't need very many resources. I've got one piece of orange, this is cardstock. You can use regular printer paper, you can use construction paper, does not matter. As long as it's whatever color your pumpkin wants to be. I've got orange. And I have a piece of green. I've already chopped a piece off the bottom, but it's just another piece of cardstock. I also have a stapler, a pencil, a ruler, and a pair of scissors. And that's all you need for this project. Are you ready to get started? Okay, here we go. Start out with your orange piece of paper. Now I have this really nifty cutting mat here that I have on my desk. It protects my desk, but it also has marks on here that show me where the inches are. I'm also going to use a ruler because you may not have one of these. So we're going to start out with your paper. We're going to put it down, and your ruler is going to go on here short-wise. We're going to cut long ways, but we have to measure our strips. You're going to need 7 strips that are 1 inch wide. So I've put my ruler down here, and it's at the edge of the paper, and I'm going to put a little mark here at each one of the measurements, the numbers that go up to 7. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can you see the little marks? They're teeny tiny ones on the edge there. Now I'm going to mark the other side. So here we go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You may need an adult to help you hold the ruler. Sometimes it slides around a little bit. Now you have little tiny marks at each end, and those are going to show you where to cut. We're going to mark lines on the paper before we cut, though. So there's one little dot here, and one on this side. I'm pushing my hand down. See how my fingers are stretched along the ruler here? I'm pushing it down so it doesn't slide. And then with my pencil, I'm going to just draw right along the edge there. It doesn't have to be really dark. But drawing your hand slowly across there, you can make your line. You go up to the next set of dots. Oops, I slid. There's one there and one there. There we go. Draw a line here. I'm just going to keep going right up the row. How many strips do you need? 7. That's right, you need 7. So as you start from the edge, how many lines do you need to draw? I'll give you a hint. It's the same number as the number of strips you need. 7. Yes, you are right. So as you go along here, just sliding from one end up to the other. Lining your ruler up with those little lines. There. See that? I've got lines the whole way out my paper. The next thing we need to do is cut those out. Now you've got one fat side. You don't need this one over here. You need this set. There will be 7 of them. This is a great exercise for measuring and for cutting on the line. Now, I have a question for you. If you go off of this pencil line, Does that mean you have to throw your whole project away? No, it doesn't. It just means it's a little crooked. You just get to get back as close to the line as you can. If it's really wavy, you know what? Then you could just make all of your lines wavy. And you could give your pumpkin some extra shape. Might be kind of a cool thing to do. Maybe you could do some little zigzags on the edge. Or wavy lines. There we go. Got 2 more to do. As close as possible to the pencil line that you've drawn on your paper. And the last one. You should have 7 strips now. See that? Now we need to do some more measuring. We have 4 different lengths of strips. So you need 1 strip that is 6 inches. So we're going to measure this one. Okay, going to measure it. Just going to put one little line there. I'm going to cut this off. 6 inches. I don't need this other one, so I'll just set it aside. Now you need 2 that are 7 inches, 2 that are 9 inches, and 2 that are 11 inches. So I'm going to stack them up. You can cut these separately if you want to, but I'm just going to stack mine right up on here. So 2 that are 7 inches long. Oops. There we go. 7 inches. There's a line here for the 7 inches. 2 that are 9 inches long. Whoops. What am I doing here? There we go. 9 inches. And the last 2 are 11 inches. That's how long those are already. We don't need to cut them. So here are my 9-inch ones. I'm gonna line up my scissors and just cut the edge off of those. Now the 7-inch ones, right there. Now if you put your papers down, you can see here's your 11-inch. There are 2 9-inch, 2 7-inch, and 1 6-inch. So right now, we'll put the scissors off to the side. We don't need this. We are going to need a stapler though. The next part, we're going to take 1 long piece, and then the next one, next length, and the next length. You see those? They're just in order from longest to shortest. See that? I'm going to stack them up, and now I'm going to add them back in from the shortest to the longest. And all of the ends are going to match. Now, as I staple these ends together, I'm going to stand up so I can push down on the stapler evenly. If I don't get it straight, it gets all wonky and doesn't work. So I have to stand up so I make sure the pressure is even on the top of the stapler. Now you can see where I've stapled the bottoms of this together. The long strips are on the outside, and then the shorter ones and the shorter ones and the shortest one is in the middle. Now in order to make this pumpkin like this, we need to put the loose ends together. So take your first loose end, and it's going to bump out a little bit. It's going to line up with your next piece in there. See that? It's bumping out. Now the next part is going to bump out, and we're going to line each one of these up. Here's your shortest one. It's in the middle. Now I'll take the next longer one. It bumps out the other direction. And the next longer one, and then the longest one. I'm going to turn this upside down and hold on to this as I try and make sure that they're all together here. We're going to staple this end too. So I'm going to stand up to staple this. There we go. And there's that cool shape. You see that? Now we need a stem. So we're going to put this stem on here and a couple of leaves. So you're going to need your piece of green paper. And we're going to do a little more measuring here. Not too much though. So your pencil and your ruler. And from the short side, this is the short side, I'm going to measure in 1.5 inches. Good. Now, I put my ruler on the 2 here and then measured in 1/2 inch here. The reason for that is because I'm missing about 1/16 of an inch on the end of my ruler. See, that's a little short. However you do it, you need 1.5 inches. And put those lines, those tiny little lines, put that by your ruler. Remember, you're going to push down on your ruler so it doesn't slide. So you pencil right along that line and cut this one out. Now this one, remember I told you, is 1.5 inches wide. Now the reason for that is because I like the leaves to be a little wider. So I'm going to fold this in half. And then on the folded side, I'm going to measure from the middle out. So it's 1.5 inches wide here. See that? So it would be, the middle would be 3/4 of an inch. I'm going 1 inch on each side. So I'm just going to take off 1/4 of an inch on each side. Anyway, I've got 2 lines here. It's about 1 inch in the middle. See that? So I'm going to leave this part here as 1 inch, but then I'm going to widen out as much as I can to the edge of the paper and then curve down to a point. Like that. I'm going to make it look like a leaf. So I'm going to start from the folded edge. Go out as fat as it can go and then bring it back in. And then from the pointed end and coming back in so that it's about 1 inch at the fold. When you open it up, it looks like this. Now this folded part here, I'm going to put right over top of my pumpkin, but the leaves, I would like them to curl a little bit. So what I'm going to do before I put that on there is you'll need a pencil, hold the fold. I'm going to hold this here so you can see. I'm going to hold the fold, take one of your leaves, I'm going to put it around a pencil, and I'm just going to push it against the pencil. I'm going to use a side that doesn't have the clip on it. And slide it right against the pencil like that, and it makes a curved edge. See that? Now if you don't want to just slide it, you can just roll the pencil right up in it, and that works too. However you do it, it's going to make it, looks like a mustache. So we're going to take this, tuck it right over the top. Now your leaves are curling up to the edge. I'm going to stand up and staple this again. There we go. And there's the pumpkin. Now, it kind of looks like a Christmas ornament right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten this bottom part out. So slide your thumb in there and then just pull down a little bit against the staple on that bottom section. You can do the same for each portion. There, it looks a little more pumpkin-like. Isn't that neat? I hope you've had fun today, and I'll see you again next week. Goodbye.